10 years?
However long she's been recording. When I met her.
Don't you remember how long it was?
Yeah, when I met her. I mean,
Was it 5 years ago? Was it?
I met her 10 years ago.
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him?
Jay-Z denies allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old, I was about to say boy, but it's not a boy, it's a 13-year-old in 2000.
Well, yeah. I started, even in my beginning, I just lived such a rich life, a full life.
The unfolding allegations in the entertainment world signal a profound moment of reckoning, one that could reshape the industry's accountability standards. With Diddy and Jay-Z already implicated in the lawsuit, the prospect of another high-profile figure being named has amplified the tension. The victim's decision to speak out reflects a growing wave of courage, fueled by the recent legal confrontations surrounding powerful celebrities. This case not only underscores the challenges victims face in coming forward, but also exposes the layers of protection often afforded to influential figures. As legal battles intensify and more names potentially come to light, it could indeed mark the beginning of a significant cultural and systemic shift. Public scrutiny and the courage of victims might pave the way for greater transparency and accountability in an industry historically shielded by wealth and power. The next steps in these cases will be critical in determining whether this moment evolves into lasting change or remains an isolated incident. What are your thoughts on this development?
It's very subtle, Vinny, but you can detect Jay-Z indicating, again, you really got to read between the lines, that he's not going to negotiate, right? It's hard to see, but it looks like he's not going to negotiate. But there's a line in here. I love to dissect these things. And first of all, I think this was written by a spokesperson, taking nothing against Jay-Z and his capabilities, but this really appears to be written by a legal publicist. This is the way they write. This is their style. So one of the things he says is, I implore you to file criminal, not civil. And when I saw that this morning, I didn't have time before the show, but I wanted to look up the statute of limitations, Pat, and to see whether this is chargeable. I don't know. I actually do not know at this hour. But when I see something like that, I go, oh.
The timing of these revelations has raised questions and intense scrutiny, with many wondering why such allegations are surfacing now. Legal analysts suggest that the inclusion of Jay-Z alongside Diddy in the lawsuit may indicate a broader, systemic pattern of abuse and cover-ups within the entertainment elite. This development has put the industry's power structures under a microscope, forcing difficult conversations about accountability and justice. The victim's accusation against Jay-Z, alleging sexual assault of a 13-year-old, has not only cast a shadow over his carefully curated public image, but also amplified the gravity of these claims. By naming figures of such prominence, the victim underscores the seriousness of her allegations and the extent of her courage in confronting powerful individuals. This lawsuit could potentially unravel hidden dynamics within the entertainment industry, challenging the culture of silence that has historically protected high-profile figures. As the legal battles unfold, they may pave the way for broader conversations about accountability, justice, and the treatment of victims within Hollywood and beyond. The implications of these allegations are profound, both for those accused and for an industry grappling with its moral responsibilities. How do you think these developments might influence future disclosures and legal actions in entertainment?
And we end in the world of hip-hop as rapper Jay-Z is embroiled in a legal storm. A woman who has already accused music mogul Sean Diddy Combs of raping her has now named Jay-Z in the same lawsuit. The woman claims that both Sean Combs and Jay-Z sexually assaulted her at an after-party following the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards when she was just 13 years old. The lawsuit filed in New York claims Jay-Z allegedly held the victim down and assaulted her while Sean Combs watched the heinous act unfold. Though Jay-Z has dismissed all allegations, calling them targeted blackmailing, the story is far from over. Here's our final report with more.
For the first time, the accuser has spoken publicly, shedding light on the emotional toll she has carried for years. Her raw and heartfelt testimony has revealed feelings of powerlessness and isolation, offering a deeply personal glimpse into the impact of the alleged acts. Her bravery in speaking out has galvanized supporters and drawn significant attention to her claims, amplifying calls for justice. This public revelation not only underscores the seriousness of her allegations, but also raises the stakes for other potential victims who may still be contemplating whether to come forward. The accuser's courage could inspire others to break their silence, potentially creating a ripple effect that challenges the culture of silence and complicity within the entertainment industry. As her story gains momentum, it forces the public and the legal system to confront difficult questions about accountability, justice, and systemic change. The support she has garnered might empower others to share their stories, leading to a broader reckoning for those in positions of power. Do you believe this will encourage a shift in how such cases are handled and how victims are supported? Jay-Z's response to these allegations has sparked mixed reactions. While he asserts that he is being blackmailed, many question whether his statements adequately address the seriousness of the accusations. His denial has done little to ease public outrage, with critics arguing that claiming blackmail merely deflects from the core issue. Others interpret this as a sign of desperation, suggesting that Jay-Z may be feeling the pressure of mounting legal and public scrutiny. Beyoncé's stance on the matter remains unaddressed.
Wow, long time. 10 years? However long she's been recording. That's when I met her.
Don't you remember how long it was?
Yeah, when I met her. I mean,
5 years ago, was it?
I met her 10 years ago. But
What did you say to yourself at that time? Wow.
I see that that's a fantastic talent.
Was that what you said?
Yeah.
With two high-profile names already implicated, speculation is mounting about the potential involvement of a third celebrity. Some analysts suggest that the victim's decision to name Jay-Z years after the alleged incident is a strategic move, possibly inspired by Diddy's recent legal reckoning. This renewed hope for justice may also be motivating her to expose other perpetrators. This development extends beyond individual accountability, aiming to dismantle a culture of impunity that has long protected the powerful.
Have been shocking to you that somebody comes on a show and then kind of levels these vague-ish allegations? Were you kind of ready for something like this to eventually happen?
Listen, there's rumors and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further, right? This is a pointed and formal accusation of something, and I felt it needed to be responded to. So I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum, which is remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to. And so I think he made the wise choice and acted accordingly.
He meaning Piers Morgan.
Removing it and apologizing for it, yes. What changed here in my mind is that somebody on a so-called journalistic platform exploited, they not only caused harm here, but they are also droning out the voices of real victims. And by doing that to get clicks, he didn't just harm the Carters. What he did effectively was to drone out the voices of actual victims in an ongoing case, in an ongoing investigation. And that was too much for me.
Are you in the process of making sure that it is taken down everywhere?
What I am here to say is that in a situation as serious as this, somebody who puts themselves out as a journalist should not effectively take advantage of the situation and exploit somebody this way. And so that's the real reason for action.
Does it strike you a little bit that there's been a lot of silence in Hollywood in the wake of all of this?
Well, as to the Carters, I can tell you that when they put their foot down on something as they did here, they are sending a message. And if they can't stand up and make sure right from wrong, then...
Speculation about the number of potential victims involved in these scandals has reached alarming levels. Some experts suggest the figures could be in the thousands, highlighting a systemic issue within the entertainment industry. While shocking, these claims align with the increasing demands for transparency and justice in Hollywood.
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the Diddler's downfall.
Jaguar,
Guess they're on vacation.
if this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. For decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
How many victims?
There was none for her. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. Pierce.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest with you.
You're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously. Kim Porter, a new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
I think people should really look into that more. I am friends with Albie Shore. I love him. I love his children. I knew Kim. We used to all hang out together at the Kit Kat Club back in the mid-90s when Diddy was first starting his reign.
Over the years, Jay-Z has built a public persona centered on success and respectability. However, recent revelations hint at a darker side to his story. Accounts of troubling interactions have emerged, raising questions about whether his behavior has been overlooked or enabled by those in his circle.
NBC News was the first to report that Jay-Z is being accused of raping a 13-year-old girl at a party back in 2000.
Tonight, NBC4's Camilla Rambaldi is in our newsroom with more on the new lawsuit. Camilla.
These allegations underscore the immense challenges victims face when confronting some of the most powerful figures in the world. Diddy's recent legal troubles may have set a precedent, encouraging the victim to name others involved. Seeing one of the entertainment industry's untouchables face consequences could inspire her to expose others who allegedly wronged her. This represents a pivotal moment in the fight for justice, as more victims find the strength to speak out and hold the powerful accountable.
Jay-Z denies allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old, I was about to say boy, but it's not a boy, it's a 13-year-old in 2000 with Sean Diddy Combs. So the story says that. Rob, if you can pull up the story with this. Okay, so a lawsuit filed against Sean Diddy Combs now alleges if he can find their response, because Jay-Z actually responded. There's actually a response, and I want to read
it was
that
Rock
for the
Nation,
audience.
right? And I think they might have taken it down after. Just get,
I have it. I have it anyway.
No, yeah,
so
okay.
if you don't have it, I have it.
Okay.
But it should be someone for him to respond. So, okay, Sean Diddy Combs now includes allegations that Jay-Z, Sean Carter sexually assaulted Jane Doe, who was 13 at the time, at an after-party 2000 Video Music Awards. Doe alleges she felt woozy after consuming a drink, then wandered into a bedroom where Carter raped her first, followed by Combs. Carter called the allegations so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one, and said whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Frivolous lawsuit and accusations of harassment against Doe's legal team. It states Jay-Z responded to said letter by orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against plaintiffs' lawyers their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff. In his statement to CNN, Carter labeled the mediation effort a blackmail effort and remarked that those lawyers seem to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. Is this their response, Rob?
Yes.
And is this from him? Because he actually responded.
I think because it says my lawyer received a blackmail attempt. So
This is what it's saying. The internet is saying that this is Jay-Z's response.
Can you zoom in a little bit, Rob?
Sure.
My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had been calculated as the nature of these allegations and public scrutiny would.
Jay-Z's response to the accusations, claiming he is being blackmailed, has added a new layer of complexity to the story. The notion that someone might exploit his alleged crimes for financial gain has sparked divided opinions. This twist has ignited heated debates about the nature of justice and whether public figures can ever truly escape accountability.
2 exclamation marks. Jay-Z is heated. He continues. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. 2 exclamation marks. Ooh. Good point. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? Ooh. Ooh, that's also a really good point. Although, isn't there such a thing as statute of limitations? The alleged incident between Diddy, Jay-Z, the unknown female celebrity, and the 13-year-old minor happened in 2000. That's 24 years ago.
Legal analysts suggest that the victim's timing in naming Jay-Z is a strategic move, intended to build momentum as public demand for accountability grows. The potential revelation of a third celebrity could mark the transformation of years of trauma and silence into empowerment for the victim. This journey goes beyond personal justice, aiming to expose the broader culture of abuse and complicity within the entertainment industry.
As more people demand answers. The possibility of naming a third celebrity could represent the culmination of years of trauma and silence being transformed into empowerment. For the victim, this journey is about more than personal justice. It's about shining a light on the broader culture of abuse and complicity in the entertainment industry.
Well, yeah. I started, even in my beginning, I just lived such a rich life, a full life. That, my first album came out, I was 26, and I had seen so many things in the street. So my attitude was like, man, I've seen so much, and, I don't have anything to prove. I know who I am. I'm a very self-aware person. So when you're self-aware, even when you're dealing with someone's ego, you know when to allow it to, you allow their ego to, live in its own space. The problem is when you engage that energy, that's when there's a problem. If you engage the ego with your ego, then it's like, okay, now something has to happen. It can keep escalating to a level that can be irreversible. But if you don't engage the ego, if you know how to manipulate or play around with the ego,
but that's weird in itself to people.
And you give light back to darkness,
right? And people are bringing all of that wild energy into a room, and you just take a step back into the shadow a little bit and just let them do that. They would almost take offense to that. Why are you playing along? Why are you getting involved in this? Did you have experiences like that where people thought, I don't know how to take Jay, I don't know how to deal with Jay, he doesn't engage with us on that level?
Yeah, I'm sure. And a lot of times what that also can be, you can misinterpret that as arrogance. In
its own way.
If someone doesn't engage you in the way that you believe they should, then people's like, he's arrogant. He's act like he's above everybody. Like, no, I just don't want to argue with you about stupid shit. Just really don't have time.
The possibility of a third celebrity being named in the lawsuit against Diddy and Jay-Z marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing fight for accountability in Hollywood. Empowered by Diddy's legal troubles and growing public support, the victim's courage signals that more revelations may be inevitable. As the world watches this story unfold, one thing is clear: the walls of protection that once shielded the powerful are beginning to crumble. The fight for justice is far from over, and these allegations have the potential to reshape the entertainment industry forever.